Welcome back to our St. Louis Blues rebuild in Franchise Hockey Manager 11. So it's January 1st and we find ourselves holding on to the top position in our division with 54 points. We have a record of 26, 15, and 2, which means that we have 3 points clear on Nashville Predators. Not bad considering one of our best players is out of commission, so it does kind of suck with that. In terms of the league, though, we find ourselves in 8th place, so our division's a little bit less dominant than other divisions at the moment, but I feel as though we can still kind of move in the right direction. Currently, our home record, though, is 17-4-1, and our away record has improved, but it's still 9-11-1, so that is very troubling. That's going to be terrible for the playoffs. We're going to have to kind of do something to adjust from that. But good news, though, in terms of the injuries, he is around 1 to 2 months away. I thought he was going to miss the whole season. He only managed to play 2 games this season. Does say that he's only projected to play 1 game, though. So I find that kind of crazy that we're not going to have him really that much. He could be more on the 2 months side, but the fact that it didn't rule him out the whole season, as long as we're in a playoff spot, I feel as though we have a good chance this season. But looking at that, I still want to bring in someone. We do have 20 million this year that we can splash the cash on, and in terms of players that are available, the only one is Malcolm Spence, but based on a rule that we had before, we can't make that trade. And then Furcus we could bring in. I was looking at not even Slavkovsky, but I was looking at Demidov, but Demidov is too rich. They don't quite want to budge on it. I feel as though we'd have to give up one of our better prospects. So I'll take out Eric there. And yeah, they want one of our top players. So I don't really think that that's going to work for me. They would be eating half his salary, though, which is enticing for other years. It would only be $4 million that we'd have to pay over 5 years. And I mean, Demidov has been pretty good. We haven't really played with him in this series, so I mean, still only 180 or 280 seasons, so maybe not the best move for that. We've got rid of players for a lot less, but the fact that he could offload his contract is pretty enticing. But with Stutzel gone, we're going to look at who ended up kind of carrying the weight here. Spangberg is our top points getter, so like I said, probably the best signing that we had this whole series for sure. Bolduc in second place with 34. Hoggins, that trade is still pretty good with 34 and 43 games. Martoni with 30. Cool with 29, projected to do just a little bit better than he did last season. Sisic with 26 points. Villeneuve with 26 and Stenberg with 25. Palika filling it admirably. We have him for 2 seasons, and I mean, we're probably only going to use him for 1, but 2 seasons for 5 million, or 5.2 roughly, is pretty decent. Zalesny is improved to a 4-star player, so he just needs to get the minutes for that. He's currently only making 13-1 minutes per game. Definitely need to bump that up. Augustin, 23, 12, and 2. With a 911 save percentage, but as you could see last season, he definitely fell hard when we hit the postseason, and he's now only a 3.5 star with 4-star potential there. So that is a little bit of a concern, and he's already racked up just as many losses as he did all last season. So been a bit of an up and down season for us. But Reinhold not doing that great with 887, 3-3-0. And I mean, doesn't look too good for him. But in terms of history, though, Augustin is our franchise leader in terms of wins, and he is very close at beating everyone in terms of shutout leader. So he's definitely going to be a franchise figurehead for sure. Now, if he can only get the championship there, that will be huge. But we've managed to make the playoffs in the last 5 seasons, so everything's kind of trending upwards. It's obviously the seasons before we didn't do that great, but obviously we're trending in the right direction. I feel as though we're just inching our way to get closer to get some silverware here. We do have, like I said, the President's Trophy, but that doesn't really matter in the end of it. In terms of depth chart, though, I think our AI, for whatever reason, bumps down Plaxton and puts in James Teed. And I think once we end up adjusting it again, it's going to do that, which I find infuriating because obviously skill levels, they're not even close. I did see the pull release though, and once again, Cool is one of the cleanest players in the whole NHL. Last season, he didn't even pick up any penalties. This season, he has 4. But yeah, I'd say that's probably on point for one of the cleanest players, but he doesn't necessarily log as many minutes as you'd think. He's down to only 11 this season, which could be why he's not necessarily developing as we would hope. But we'll do the AI again. We'll see what ends up happening. They did keep Plaxton in, so that's good. But we do face off against Florida. Hopefully, we can manage to start things off strong. We do win 1-0, so one more shutout closer to the record there. Hagen scored in the shutout, and then Olsen ended up getting the game winner there. So not bad at all. Florida is a top team, so the fact that we managed to beat them is pretty good. Just kind of hoping for Stutzel to come back or for someone to come in the trade deadline that we can entice to come to our team. Because I feel as though that'd be huge for us. Just having an extra weapon there would be insane. But I don't really know who's really coming up through the woodwork there, or who will be available come closer to the trade deadline. But we'll keep looking at it, keep monitoring it, and hopefully you can manage to pry someone away. The West looks significantly worse than the East this year. And I'm just hoping that the West ends up crowning a champion, hopefully us. But I'm just hoping to kind of spread that gap on Predators. We do face off against Chicago, but at this exact time is when the game decides to get super slow. I think it's because as soon as you end up hitting January 1st, they end up adding a whole bunch of things, especially in your emails and stuff like that. So we're kind of waiting for that to end, but obviously we should have probably saw this coming. And kind of waited a little bit. Yeah, so they're saving everything now. That's one of the only things about the game that I kind of find a little bit taxing is obviously not much ended up happening other than obviously the evaluation, but I did want to kind of see that as well. Forsman now extended to 5 points in the AHL. That's pretty good. And obviously we should be a contender next year and this year. Butch Bowen, top player, another defender as well. Bill Sampson, so a bunch of goalies, Josh Reed, Higdon, but we're not really focused on that. I don't even think we have a first-round pick next year. No, we don't. We just have our pick and the Devils and Capitals. I wonder if we could actually trade all 3 of those for a first-round pick. That'd be pretty interesting. Top prospect, that was Janu. And then Watson as well. Watson now down to a 4-star. I don't like that. 4.5 is what it's showing there, but that's kind of poor. Nashville still winning though. And 27 wins not bad. We have significantly less overtime losses than what we had last season. Last season was kind of an anomaly. Can we win this one against Chicago to stretch our lead here? We do. We get 4-1 and away from home is a massive plus. Aarons gets his 4th, Hoggins gets the 13th, Vic and Dickinson score in the 3rd. We're pretty active in the 3rd or the 1st. 2nd is typically where we kind of decide whether or not we're going to push in that game or going to let it go. But as we keep winning, Nashville keeps winning as well, and that is not good. It's not good for us at all. Facing off against Ottawa. I don't even know if Ottawa's good. No, they're 500 this season, and we win 3-2, no extra time. Zelezny scores and Aaron scores, and then Olsen gets the game winner there. We now turn our sights to Washington, and Dupont is now hurt. Sore knee, you gotta be kidding me. Sore knee 1 to 2 weeks. Hopefully he can still manage to play, and there's not too many games during that period. But now we're starting to get closer to 60 points and closer to 50 wins again this season. If we can manage to kind of maintain what we have now, that'd be fantastic. That Dupont hurt. That sucks. Usually says how many days he's out for. Sorny, 9 days. Alright, we're just gonna have to make do. He's still playing though this game, and at least we have a stretch of games there. 6-5, probably overtime. Nope, Sisic scores, and we do let them get ahead of us in the first. Second is when we come back. Zelezny, Voldek, Misa, and Olsen score, and then Spangberg scores a shorthanded game winner. That's crazy. 1946, so at the very end of the game, a shorthanded goal. That is insane. That is clutch if I've ever seen it. But the fact that he's on the power play, or power kill, pretty good too. I do think we did see another player that could be another Spangberg, so I'm kind of excited to see how that player develops. But we won't. We mentioned it before, but we won't ruin it, and we'll kind of just allow it to happen before we end up really getting to all the information with that. But improving in terms of losses in overtime, I do like that, but I don't think we're going to nearly as many overtimes as we did last year. So I think it's either we're going to win or we're going to lose pretty handily. We're going to have a back-to-back game here, so Dupont's probably going to be out for the other one. Can we get the win? Yeah, we do. 1-0 in regulation. We only score in the first. Zelezny with his 10th. And we face off against Dallas here, but obviously take the wins whenever you can get them. I've definitely started my backup for games like this and then deeply regretted it after when we end up losing both games. And it does look like Vic is also the other one that's going to be hurt too. Reinhold's going to get the nod here. And we do win 3-2, so another win there. Watson and Stenberg end up scoring, and Plaxton gets his first. Probably because he was in the AHL the whole season. Didn't even realize that Martin Nekas was on there, but made it a closer game instead of us kind of running away with it. 3-1 and 3-2. Pretty close, but obviously we could have got that empty netter. But 32 wins so far. And yeah, we're definitely getting closer. We bridged that gap in terms of the whole league. And Flyers looks like they're the top dog this season. And Dupont should be back soon, at least that's what they're telling us. And we'll look at us in the whole season. Yeah, we're improving. At least we're 500 away from home. But a lot of teams kind of struggle with that, except for Columbus Blue Jackets. 16-7-2. They have the exact same record for home and away. That is pretty crazy. Can we win this one too? We do. We win another one against them. Spangberg with his 16th, Martoni with his 13th, and Stenberg scores before Hagens gets the game winner there. Decent. Doing pretty decent there. 33-15-2. Managed to win a decent string of games there, so definitely giving us a little bit more confidence than probably we should. But like I said, the fact that we're going to have an even better player coming onto our team in maybe a month and a half definitely bodes well with us. We could also be pretty dominant in the postseason with the team that we have now, but obviously adding a 5-star player makes that a lot easier. But it does look like Philadelphia is kind of slowing down. They do have 3 games more than what we do, so that could factor in why they were a little bit higher than we were. So maybe our records are somewhat similar. Vic and Dupont still injured though, but Dupont with an 80 still going to end up playing. Can we manage to beat Vegas? We do. Luck was on our side there. Shootout winner. Spangberg scores his 17th, Misa with his 7th, and Stenberg with his 10th. Or Stenberg, not Spangberg. And then Kuhl ends up getting the only goal in the shootouts. Martoni misses, and so does Hagens. We now shift our sights to New York, but yeah, Vegas was criminally bad, so I don't think that really merits that much of praise for that. And Spangenberg now out with a bruised finger, but he should still be good enough to play, I imagine. He's not. He's not going to play. Damn it. So we do face off against Rangers here. Can we win at home despite not having our best player at the moment? And we do. 5-4 win in overtime, though. Meyer scores, Dickinson scores, and Baldock and Plaxton before Dickinson getting the game winner there. Like I said, probably earlier in the season, I think Dickinson this might be the last season that he ends up playing for us. I feel as though we might have to trade him away at some point, just because we'll need that cap. And Stutzel, 1 to 2 weeks, that is fantastic. That is going to be a huge boost, but like I said, I wouldn't mind getting another star. 4-1 loss there, so we get our first loss in I swear we went on a huge run there. Unfortunately, I didn't look at it in terms of the league, so I won't really kind of remember what we were at. But Augusta now with 30 wins. Philly is the only one that's leading the way with Daigle with 31 wins. But his goals against and save percentage isn't quite there, so I highly doubt that he ends up winning the Vezina this year. Probably goes to someone like Daigle if he's up there. No, I don't see it. Just as I said that, his goals against end up jumping up. Baldock is now temporary out. And of course that affects his fitness for whatever reason. I think they just need to kind of adjust that. And Stenberg also suspended. 3 games remaining. So we're forced to play with these players. Palika, Jamfinger. We might want to move one of these to IR and bring someone up. I think Palika will move to IR. And we'll bring up... We do have back-to-back games here. I'll bring up Waldman. Kind of see how he does. Play this game without him, obviously. We do win 6-3 against San Jose. Misa scores, Cool, Martoni, and then Cool gets a hat trick, and then Olsen scores an empty net goal there to put the game beyond all doubt. 12th of the season, and we now have to face off against the top team in the West other than us, but the top team in the Pacific. Yeah, Cool had a great game. 3 goals, 1 assist. Not bad, not bad. Oh my god, they sent him down. That's ridiculous. Okay, they sent down Wallman. I just wish that there's a way that I could just click on something so it refuses to do that. But obviously I'd have to put him in our lineup, but even then I think it overrides it regardless. Reinhold's going to get the nod here against LA. Probably not the best idea, and we lose 2-0. I should have seen that coming. Meyer ends up scoring, and then McCormack. And now Misa's hurt too. Jesus. We're just dropping like flies. I don't even know what that is. Acromyoclavicular. Jesus, 1 to 2 months. So it looks like he's going to come back. Like, this is wild. Looks like Waldman's going to come up anyways. But that's wild. He should be back for the playoffs, though. Good thing he's getting hurt now and not in the playoffs. He's suspended for 1 more game. So the Philly will be the last one. Philly up to 77 points, though. I mean, this could set us apart as being the top team in the league, or at least help. But now we definitely need to bring back a player because, yeah, it feels like we need this win, or we need to bring in players. Let's see, can we manage to win this one away from home? We don't. 3-2 loss in overtime, though, so at least we get a point. Aaron scores his 6th, Vic with his 5th, and that is all she wrote. Unlikely sources getting goals, though, and at least Stenberg's suspension ends. And looks like Spanberg should be ready to come getting full minutes there. Trade block, looks like Luke Evangelista and Spence the only ones really available. Again, more offensive than anything. And yeah, no one really jumping out at us. Josh Gavin, no, it doesn't really look like a player that we want. We're on the road, and we're going to have to face off against Pittsburgh and New York. Maybe the reason why we did so well is because a lot of those games were at home. Oh, we got to switch goalies now. Didn't realize it was going to be back-to-back. Can Reinhold get it done? And no, he can't. 4-0 loss. Yeah, we're definitely missing Misa there. We lose against one of the bottom teams in the Metropolitan. And it's kind of funny seeing Pittsburgh not doing well in real life as well. Looks like they really should have considered not bringing in their GM. Like I said, probably last season. It looks like I was right that he did somehow destroy a very good franchise. But looks like he's definitely going to be on the outs for sure. Face off against New York. Can we get in the winning ways? We don't. 5-3 loss. Spanberg with his 18th. Meyer with his 6th. And yeah, we're dropping like flies here. 36 wins, 19-3. And hopefully we can turn things around. We do face off against San Jose, who is kind of middle of the pack. But it does look like we should be at least good enough to qualify for the playoffs. So that's all that we really want. But obviously, the closer that we can get to it, the happier that we'll be. In terms of development, Ivanov improving slightly, but he is only 19, so he should still be able to improve significantly throughout his development there. Batig, only 12 points, and Arjumpa, I'm definitely saying that name wrong, 11 points. Ryabov looking pretty good, at least in the AHL, but not good enough to really crack it for us. Aaron's improving. Everyone's kind of improving slightly. Spangberg, now acceleration a little bit higher. He's now projected to go as a 5-star player, which would be massive. We'll set the budget first. Obviously nothing changing there. Just sucks that we can't adjust anything to kind of push more on the road. But 36 wins. We do have a lot more losses than what I was hoping. And obviously there's going to be more to come. But we do face off against San Jose and then Dallas. So as long as we can get that soon. Stutzel now day-to-day. And that is what I like to see. I thought he was going to be gone all season. Very nice to see that he's going to be with us soon. And we do get back into the winning ways. 6-2, Stenberg, Villeneuve, and Fyodorov score. Hagen, Zelezny, and then Aaron scores at the end to get our 37th win of the season. Does extend our lead to 7 points clear of Nashville. We do have the game at hand, so now it's only 5. We do face off against Philly again, though, so hopefully he can manage to win that one too. But Dallas here, we win 3-2, so that is good. Spangler with his 19th, and then Meyer with his 7th. Who scored the other one? Aaron scored early. Aaron kind of just like squeezes in there and manages to get goals when you least expect it. But we'll probably end up playing this one against Philly. Kind of look at the trade block, and I mean we might have to kind of wait, see how Stutzel does. And that is what I like to see. We're obviously going to have to adjust everything. So they might have moved someone down. But 79 points here. Doing a little bit better than what we did at the beginning of the episode. And there's around 22 games left. Closing in on the trade deadline. And like I said, we'll look at who's available. Artmanov waived already, so I mean he doesn't look too bad. AHL he's done better. But we got sellers for that for Artemonov pick. Did suck to kind of see him go, but sellers could be good. He is only grading around a 59 in the NCAA, which isn't great, but he is only 18, so I mean, jury's obviously still out on that one. Stutzel going to play at 97% here. Can we manage to win the homecoming game? And we do 5-4 in overtime, so both games went to overtime. Hoggins with his 16th and Stenberg with his 12th. And then Hoggins scores his 17th in the second, and then Plumundon, unlikely source, gets his 7th, and then Stenberg with his 13th. Didn't quite see... Yeah, I didn't see any action from Stutzel there, but he's still getting into the swing of things. And we'll play the game against Seattle. Hopefully he can manage to register a point there. If he gets injured again, I am going to be absolutely heartbroken. We do face off against Seattle. Seattle is the top team in the other conference there, and it looks like Misa could be available sooner rather than later. Can we manage to get a win here too? We do, 3-1. That's what I like to see. Olsen with his 13th, Bolduc with his 18th, and Spangberg with his 20th. Still pointless though, since he's come back. That is hard to see. He only has 1 point in 4 games. Obviously, it's going to take him a little bit of time, but we'll take a look at the standings here. 83 points, and we're pretty clear on Predators. We should be able to get the top spot. 1 point trailing on Flyers, but we'll look at the whole league and see kind of how we're sorting out. Our away record's still bad, 13-5-2. And home record is 27-4-1. That is absolute dominance at home. But we're second team in the league, though. Roughly around the same record. We have 1 game on top of Flyers. Obviously, we could claim top spot, too. 217 goals for, 178 against, with a 39 difference. That is not as good as what I was hoping. Red Wings on a 7-game win streak. We're on a 4. So not bad. We do go on a decent amount of streaks, though. And worst teams are Carolina, Calgary, and Dallas. Bruins also joining them there, too. But, yeah, obviously we would have rathered Calgary's pick this year as opposed to last year. I didn't think they were going to have back-to-back terrible seasons. But the way that we leave you here, Spangberg with 48 points, Bolduc now tied. And then Hoggins went on a huge tear with 46 points now. So he's bridged the gap. He's either they've kind of slowed down or Hoggins sneakily gotten to the top. Martoni with 42, which means that he should have pretty close to his career year. Cool with 39, projected to go 50, and Stenberg with 35, and Villeneuve with 35 as well. Goalies, let's see if there's anything that's going to surprise us. 911, and then Reinhold now at 906, so not bad, but only 500. 35 wins, 14 losses, and 3 overtime losses. He is our franchise leader for sure. His contract is just a little bit more than what I would have rathered, but 6.5 is still very, very cheap for a top goalie, especially in this league. But hopefully we can manage to get one of these players on the trade block. We might even have to kind of search a little bit more. Not too much really jumping out, but Malcolm Spence went from a 4.5 star to a 4-star, so I find that concerning. Maddox Burke playing the AHL though, so maybe not a player that we end up looking at, but not too much to really speak of. There's not really that many options available, but hopefully once everyone's kind of healthy, we should be good to go. But hopefully you guys like this. Leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and thank you for watching. Until next time.